Hello, I'm Evan Nolan, the president and co-founder of the United States Athletics Hall of Fame, here another returning nominee for the class of 2024. As our only nominee from Maine, and the only marathoner on the list this year, Joan Benoit holds a very special place in American sports history. Born May 16, 1957 in Cape Elizabeth, Maine, Joan was the only girl amongst four siblings. Now, her family actually owned the A.H. Benoit and Company clothing store, which at one point was the largest clothing store in all of Maine. But Joan was an athlete. And like many athletes in Maine, she started on the ski slope, which was truly her first love. That is until she broke her leg during a slalom run. As part of the recovery for that, she took up long distance running, and her true athletic passion was found. Now, she started her career running at nearby Bowdoin College in Brunswick, Maine, and was there 2 years before getting a full scholarship offer after her sophomore year to transfer to NC State. She was at NC State in 1977 and 1978, winning All-American honors both times, and helping NC State win the 1978 ACC Women's Cross Country Championship. In 1978, she'd also win the Broderick Award, which is now known as the Honda Sports Award, as the top female cross-country runner in the country. After graduation, she made the transition to the discipline for which she's best known, the marathon. In 1979, she'd entered the Boston Marathon as an unknown 21-year-old with very little fanfare, and she would go out and dominate. She'd win the event in 2 hours, 35 minutes, and 15 seconds, which knocked a full 8 minutes off the previous record. 2 years later, in 1981, she'd enter the U.S. Championships and win gold in the 10,000 meters, before getting surgery on both of her Achilles tendons. Now, she'd recovered from that surgery, and 2 years later, she'd run the Boston Marathon again, setting a new course record of 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 43 seconds, knocking a full 12.5 minutes off her previous record time. And, don't forget, in between, she'd had those 2 surgeries. That was also actually the fastest marathon ever run by a woman anywhere in the world up to that point. And her 1983 marathon record will remain the women's record for another 11 years. And triumphing through injury would kind of become a habit with Joan. She'd need arthroscopic knee surgery just 17 days before the U.S. Olympic trials in 1984. But true to form, she'd recover in time to take first place and qualify for the team, making the Los Angeles Games. Now, those games in Los Angeles were the first Olympics, believe it or not, in which the women's marathon was ever part of the competition. And Joan would come in as the favorite. And she'd uphold her position, pulling away from the competition early and winning the event by over a minute, take several hundred yards ahead of everyone else, thus taking home the first ever Olympic women's marathon gold. She'd go on to win the Chicago Marathon in 1985, setting an American record marathon time of just over 2 hours and 21 minutes, a record that would stand all the way until 2003. And she'd win the 1985 James A. Sullivan Award as the top amateur athlete in the country. But injuries would continue to dog her, and her time as an Olympic class athlete would come to a close. Now, that's not to say she stopped running, however. She continued to set records for her age group and dominate domestic long distance running well into her older years. She'd actually win the Maine half marathon in 2003 at the age of 46 over other competitors who were more than 20 years younger than she was. And she continually kept setting age speed records into her 50s and beyond, including the over age 50 record of the U.S. time trials in 2008. And in 2019, as a 61-year-old, she finished the Boston Marathon in 3 hours and 4 minutes flat, less than 30 minutes slower than her winning time of 40 years before. There's no question that Joan Benoit is America's greatest ever distance runner, but she still finished at the bottom 20 of her voting last year. Now, she was elected to the International Women's Sports Foundation's Hall of Fame in 1999, and the U.S. Olympic Hall of Fame in 2008. Will 2024 be the year for our hall? That's going to be up to you. You can vote for Joan Benoit or any of our other nominees to the United States Athletics Hall of Fame at www.theusahof, that's theusahalloffame.com. Voting continue between now and our newly extended time of December 1st, so vote as often as you like, as long as it's only once a day. I'll be back soon with another nominee, but until then, take care.